First strike. The Malthurian assassin, Vexthor, watched through compound eyes as 16-year-old Maya Zhang demonstrated her quantum entanglement breakthrough at humanity's first interstellar science exhibition. The insects that made up his hive mind consciousness clicked in irritation. How had these primitive apes managed to solve in decades what took his species millennia? The exhibition hall on Europa Station buzzed with activity as representatives from 17 alien civilizations observed humanity's technological achievements. Maya's presentation was the centerpiece, a working prototype that could revolutionize faster-than-light communications. Her small hands moved with practiced precision as she adjusted the quantum matrix, her eyes bright with excitement behind protective goggles. As you can see, Maya explained to the assembled delegates, by utilizing this novel approach to quantum coupling, we can achieve instantaneous communication across any distance without the traditional problems of decoherence. Vexthor's mandibles twitched. The coalition had been clear. Humanity's rapid technological advancement needed to be curtailed. They were too unpredictable, too aggressive, too quick to master technologies that other species had taken centuries to understand. The child had to die, and her research had to be destroyed. The shot, when it came, was perfectly timed. As Maya reached to activate her prototype for the final demonstration, a microscopic needle fired from Vexthor's modified appendage pierced her neck. The poison was engineered to look like natural causes, a tragic brain aneurysm in one so young. Maya's hand froze mid-reach. Her eyes widened in confusion before she crumpled to the floor. The assembled delegates burst into chaos as medical teams rushed forward. But Vexthor knew it was already too late. His hive mind hummed with satisfaction as he calmly made his way to his diplomatic shuttle. By the time anyone realized this wasn't natural causes, he would be far beyond Earth's jurisdiction. What Vexthor failed to notice was Dr. Sarah Chen, Maya's mentor, watching him leave with cold, calculating eyes. She had seen the subtle movement of his appendage, caught the glint of the needle in Europa Station's artificial light. As Maya's body was carried away, Dr. Chen was already sending a message to Earth's Security Council. The response began within hours. Earth's quantum computing arrays, inspired by Maya's early research, began coming through every frame of security footage. Orbital defense platforms quietly shifted their positions. Deep space vessels changed course. But most significantly, in secure facilities across Earth and its colonies, thousands of storage pods began the revival process. The Lazarus Protocol had never been activated before. Created in secret after humanity's first contact with alien life, it maintained a force of 500,000 elite soldiers in suspended animation, ready to be awakened in humanity's darkest hour. Now, as Maya Zhang's death was confirmed as assassination, these warriors began to wake. Admiral Helena Santos stood before the hastily assembled Earth Security Council, her dark eyes burning with controlled fury. The coalition thinks they can kill our children with impunity. They believe we will accept this as a tragic accident and move on. They are about to learn how gravely they have miscalculated. Across Earth and its colonies, families gathered around news feeds as the announcement was made. Maya Zhang's face appeared on every screen, the brilliant young scientist who had died reaching for the stars. But it was the next images that made the coalition's representatives feel their first real tremors of fear. Endless rows of warriors emerging from suspended animation, warships breaking orbit in perfect formation. And behind them all, the quantum communication arrays Maya had helped design, ensuring humanity would move as one unstoppable force. The Malthurian assassin was already celebrating his success at a private compound in the Outer Rim when the first reports reached him. His hive mind sparked with confusion as he processed the information. Surely the humans wouldn't mobilize their entire military force over one child. But they had, and they were coming. The assembly, the Great Hall of the United Earth Government, had never seen such unity. Representatives from every nation, colony, and orbital habitat stood in complete silence as Admiral Santos played the enhanced security footage. Frame by frame, They watched the Malthurian assassin end Maya Zhang's life. The silence that followed was deafening. Chancellor Ryota Tanaka, typically the voice of measured diplomacy, was the first to speak. For centuries, we have maintained the Lazarus Protocol as a deterrent against full-scale invasion. Today, we activate it not against an armada, but against those who believe they can murder our children with impunity. The vote was unanimous. Within hours, quantum entanglement communicators, bitter irony that they were based on Maya's research, carried the activation codes to every suspended animation facility across human space. The warriors of the Lazarus Protocol, trained in secret for generations, began to wake. They emerged from their pods with purpose already burning in their eyes. Each had entered suspended animation knowing they might wake to humanity's darkest hour. Each had been chosen not just for their combat skills, but for their unwavering dedication to protecting human life. As they received their briefings, Maya's face appeared on every screen. Her story, her dreams, her brutal murder, all became fuel for their righteous fury. In high orbit above Mars, Fleet Commander Zara Chen, no relation to Dr. Sarah Chen, supervised the awakening of the Ghost Fleet. 500 warships, hidden in plain sight as orbital debris or camouflaged in asteroid fields, powered up their systems. Each vessel represented the pinnacle of human military technology, designed with one purpose: to project overwhelming force anywhere in known space. The Coalition's embassy on Luna requested an emergency meeting as reports of the mobilization reached them. Their ambassador, a crystalline being named Solvan, attempted to smooth things over with platitudes about tragic accidents and the need for calm discourse. Admiral Santos let him speak, then played another piece of evidence: Dr. Sarah Chen's detailed analysis of the poison used to kill Maya. This neurotoxin, Santos explained, her voice arctic, was specifically engineered to target human physiology. It required detailed knowledge of our biology, our medical capabilities, and our standard autopsy procedures. This was not the work of a lone assassin. This was a coordinated attack on humanity's future. Solvan's crystalline form vibrated with what might have been nervousness. Surely you don't intend to start a war over one unfortunate death. No, Ambassador, Santos replied, her smile razor-sharp. We intend to deliver justice. The Coalition believed we would accept a child's murder to maintain galactic peace. Instead, you will watch as we dismantle every criminal enterprise, every shadowy organization, every corrupt official who played a part in this assassination. And when we find those responsible, all of those responsible, they will answer for their crimes in a human court. As Solvan hurried back to his ship, the mobilization continued. The Ghost Fleet broke orbit in perfect formation, their quantum drives humming with power. On Earth, colonial Mars, and every human settlement, fabrication plants switched to military production. The Lazarus warriors, now fully awake and equipped, began boarding their designated vessels. Deep in the outer rim, Vexthor received the first warnings. His hive mind struggled to process the scale of the human response. The Coalition had assured him that humans were fractious, individualistic, easily divided. Yet now they moved with singular purpose, their fleet maneuvers suggesting a level of coordination that should have been impossible. Dr. Sarah Chen, working with military intelligence, began piecing together the wider conspiracy. The quantum communication arrays, drawing on their vast network, intercepted fragments of encrypted transmissions. A pattern emerged. Maya's assassination was meant to be the first of many, a coordinated effort to stunt human technological growth. But the Coalition had made a fatal miscalculation. They had observed humanity's divisions, our political squabbles, our competing interests. What they failed to understand was that these were luxuries of peacetime. In targeting Maya, they had given humanity something it had never truly had before: a common purpose. As the Ghost Fleet prepared to jump to their first target, Admiral Santos received a priority message. Dr. Chen's analysis had yielded results: a network of hidden bases, secret accounts, and most importantly, the location of the Coalition's Shadow Council. The hunt would begin not with random searches, but with surgical strikes at the heart of the conspiracy. The Coalition was about to learn that humanity's greatest strength wasn't our technology, our numbers, or even our awakened warriors. It was our capacity to unite in the face of injustice, to set aside our differences when one of our own was threatened. They had killed a child to prevent human advancement. Instead, they had catalyzed the very unity they feared. The Ghost Fleet jumped, their quantum drives tearing holes in space-time. The hunt had begun. Hunt across the stars. The Centauri trading hub had never seen anything like it. 5 Ghost Fleet warships emerged from quantum space simultaneously, their matte black hulls absorbing local starlight. No warnings, no diplomatic clearances. They simply appeared, their weapon systems already locked on key facilities. Inside the command ship Nemesis, Fleet Commander Chen watched as the hub's security forces scrambled to respond. They needn't have bothered. The neural-linked pilots of the Ghost Fleet's drone squadrons had already disabled their weapon systems with surgical precision. "This is Commander Chen of the Earth Ghost Fleet," her message broadcast on all frequencies. "We seek information about the assassination of Maya Zhang. Cooperate, and this station will remain intact. Resist." She let the silence speak for itself. The hub's administrator, a gelatinous creature named Blobnak, quickly agreed to meet. His species were known for their perfect memory and their policy of strict neutrality. As security footage from 1,000 cameras fed into the Nemesis's quantum computers, Blobnak's memories were proving equally valuable. "The Malthurian came through here," he burbled nervously. But he was not alone. There were others, representatives from the Coalition's Shadow Council. They met in private, but our maintenance systems record everything. The footage showed Vex Thor meeting with delegates from 7 different species. Dr. Chen, watching via quantum link from Earth, recognized the crystalline form of Ambassador Solvin among them. The conspiracy was deeper than they'd imagined. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, other Ghost Fleet task forces were conducting similar operations. The Lazarus warriors, enhanced by their neural interfaces, moved through criminal strongholds and diplomatic enclaves with unstoppable precision. They weren't just looking for Vex Thor anymore. They were systematically exposing and dismantling the entire Coalition shadow network. On a mining colony in the Vega system, they found the weapon fabrication facility that had created the specialized poison. In the methane clouds of Neptune-class gas giant, they discovered servers containing encrypted communications between conspiracy members. Each raid yielded new information, new targets, new threads to unravel. The Coalition's official representatives grew increasingly desperate. They hadn't believed humanity capable of such coordinated action. Their carefully constructed shadow network, built over centuries, was being torn apart in weeks. Vex Thor, hiding in a luxury resort on a private asteroid, felt his hive mind fracture with fear as reports reached him. The humans weren't just hunting him. They were hunting everyone involved, from the highest Coalition official to the lowest criminal enforcer. Their quantum computers processed centuries of records in hours. Their neural-linked soldiers executed precision raids across light years. Their ships appeared and disappeared like ghosts. But it was the public broadcasts that truly terrified him. After each raid, the Ghost Fleet released evidence of the conspiracy. Billions of beings across thousands of worlds watched as the Coalition's plot was exposed. The assassination of Maya Zhang wasn't just murder. It was the opening move in a planned campaign of systematic suppression. Dr. Chen's analysis revealed the full scope of their intentions. The Coalition had identified 47 human prodigies for elimination, each working on technologies that threatened their dominance. Maya had simply been first, chosen because her quantum communication breakthroughs would have made their subsequent attacks more difficult. They had planned to kill children. Not soldiers, not politicians, but brilliant young minds reaching for the stars. As this truth spread across human space, the last vestiges of internal opposition to the Ghost Fleet's mission evaporated. Admiral Santos received the latest intelligence update in her quantum-shielded office on Luna. "They're running," she observed, watching coalition ships abandon their bases across known space. "They finally understand what they've awakened." Commander Chen's response came instantly through the quantum link. "We've identified their primary command center, a hidden installation in the core of a rogue planet. The Shadow Council is gathering there, probably planning to go into suspended animation until this blows over." Santos smiled grimly. "They still don't understand. This doesn't blow over. Not ever." She authorized the final phase of the operation with a neural command. Across human space, Ghost Fleet vessels began jumping to preset coordinates. The Coalition was about to learn that humanity's reach extended further than they'd imagined, much further. The hidden truth. The rogue planet hung in the void like a black pearl, its surface utterly dark without a star to illuminate it. Deep within its core, the Coalition's Shadow Council gathered in their secret chamber, surrounded by the accumulated knowledge of 1,000 civilizations. They hadn't expected to be found here. They were wrong. Quantum ruptures bloomed in the space around the planet as the entire Ghost Fleet emerged simultaneously. 500 warships, their hulls still bearing the scars of battles across the galaxy, moved into an encompassing formation that made escape impossible. Inside the Nemesis, Commander Chen watched the tactical display with grim satisfaction. No ships detected attempting to flee. They're either very confident or very foolish. The installation's defenses were formidable. Energy shields, automated weapon systems, and dimensional anchors designed to prevent quantum jumping. The Coalition had millennia to perfect their security, but they hadn't counted on Dr. Sarah Chen's final gift to her murdered student. Maya Zheng's last research notes, recovered from her quantum-encrypted personal database, contained the key. Her breakthroughs in quantum entanglement hadn't just been about communication. She had theorized a way to bypass any defense by manipulating the fundamental fabric of space-time itself. The Lazarus warriors deployed in waves, their neural interfaces allowing them to process the mind-bending physics of Maya's equations in real time. As they activated their quantum tunneling devices, reality itself seemed to hiccup. They didn't need to break through the Coalition's defenses. They simply existed on the other side of them, as if the barriers had never been there at all. Inside the council chamber, the assembled representatives felt their first real touch of fear as human soldiers materialized around them. Ambassador Sullivan's crystalline form vibrated in panic. "This is impossible. The dimensional anchors were bypassed using technology developed by the child you murdered," Admiral Santos interrupted, stepping through her own quantum tunnel. Her dress uniform was immaculate, her expression carved from ice. Maya Zheng's final gift to humanity. "She solved the quantum tunneling problem 3 days before your assassin killed her." The truth, when it emerged, was both simpler and more terrible than anyone had imagined. The Coalition hadn't just feared human advancement. They had seen it before. Ancient records, displayed on quantum holographic screens, showed the rise and fall of dozens of species who had developed too quickly, who had reached too far too fast. "You don't understand," the hive speaker of the Malthurians chittered, its compound eyes reflecting the holographic displays. "Quick advancement leads to civilization collapse. We've seen it happen countless times. Species that develop too rapidly destroy themselves in wars of unimaginable destruction. We were protecting the galaxy, protecting humanity from itself." Admiral Santos walked slowly around the council chamber, examining artifacts that dated back millions of years. "You appointed yourselves our guardians without our consent. You decided our fate without giving us a choice. And when a brilliant young girl threatened your control through nothing more than her genius and creativity, you had her murdered." The council members shifted uncomfortably as more Lazarus warriors appeared, their armor incorporating Maya's quantum technologies in ways the Coalition hadn't thought possible. Humanity hadn't just caught up to their level of advancement. In some ways, they had already surpassed it. "Here's what you fail to understand," Santos continued, her voice carrying to every corner of the chamber. Humanity's rapid advancement isn't a weakness. It's our greatest strength. We don't just adapt, we evolve. We don't just learn, we transform. And when you murdered one of our children to slow us down, you instead catalyzed our next great leap forward. The evidence was undeniable. The Coalition's secret archives revealed centuries of manipulation, technological suppression, and calculated intervention in the development of countless species. They had shaped the galaxy's evolution according to their vision of stable, controlled progress. But humanity had broken their model. The very qualities they feared, our adaptability, our drive to innovate, our unity in the face of threats, had turned their carefully planned assassination into the instrument of their own downfall. As the Lazarus warriors secured the facility and its invaluable archives, Admiral Santos delivered humanity's judgment. There would be no executions, no revenge killings. Instead, the Coalition's Shadow Council would face trial in human courts, their crimes exposed to the galaxy they had manipulated for so long. But that was only the beginning. Humanity would not simply dismantle the Coalition's shadow network, we would transform it. The accumulated knowledge of millennia would be shared with all species, not hoarded by a select few. The technologies they had suppressed would be developed openly, with proper safeguards and oversight. Reckoning. 1 year after Maya Zhang's assassination, the Great Hall of Humanity's new galactic embassy on Europa Station was filled to capacity. Representatives from over 500 species gathered to witness something unprecedented: the public release of the Coalition's suppressed technologies and the inauguration of the Interstellar Scientific Cooperation Initiative. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at the podium, where her student had once demonstrated her quantum breakthrough. Behind her, a massive quantum hologram displayed Maya's face, alongside the faces of thousands of other beings whose innovations had been silenced by the Coalition over the millennia. "We gather here not in triumph," she began, her voice carrying clearly through quantum-enhanced acoustics, but in remembrance and hope. The Coalition believed that rapid technological advancement led inevitably to destruction. Today, we proved them wrong. The trial of the Shadow Council had revealed the full scope of their actions: centuries of careful manipulation, assassination, and suppression. But it had also revealed something else: the incredible resilience and potential of all sapient species when allowed to develop freely. In the holding facility where Vexthor's hive mind slowly came to terms with its actions, the Malthurian assassin watched the broadcast with his compound eyes. The humans had done something he had never expected. They had turned his crime into a catalyst for positive change. Admiral Santos, now serving as Earth's representative to the new Galactic Council, took the podium after Dr. Chen. The Coalition's greatest fear was that rapid advancement would lead to self-destruction, but they failed to understand a fundamental truth. It's not the speed of progress that determines a civilization's fate, but the wisdom with which they use their discoveries. The Ghost Fleet, no longer needed for war, had been repurposed. Their quantum drives now carried scientists and educators to developing worlds. The Lazarus warriors, their neural interfaces adapted for peaceful purposes, helped implement new technologies safely across the galaxy. Commander Chen's holographic projection appeared next, transmitted from a distant sector where she supervised the distribution of quantum communication arrays. We could have used our victory to become what the Coalition feared: a dominant power imposing our will on others. Instead, we choose to share knowledge, to lift up rather than suppress. The first projects of the initiative were already showing results. Species that the Coalition had kept deliberately isolated were now collaborating, combining their unique perspectives to solve problems that had seemed insurmountable. Maya's quantum entanglement theories, freely shared, had sparked a renaissance in faster-than-light communication. In a quiet corner of the hall, Solvin's crystalline form vibrated with a new frequency: not fear this time, but understanding. The humans had done more than defeat the Coalition. They had proven its fundamental premise wrong. Rapid advancement, when paired with cooperation and shared wisdom, didn't lead to destruction. It led to transformation. The ceremony reached its climax as Dr. Chen activated a quantum device at the podium. Across the galaxy, on thousands of worlds, similar devices activated simultaneously. The Coalition's vast archives, accumulated over millions of years, were now freely available to all species, protected by quantum encryption that ensured they could be studied but never weaponized. Maya Zhang died reaching for the stars, Dr. Chen concluded, her voice thick with emotion. The Coalition thought they could stop human advancement by killing her. Instead, they ensured that her dream of shared knowledge and cooperation would spread across the galaxy. In the years that followed, Maya's legacy grew far beyond what anyone could have imagined. The technology she had helped unlock, combined with the wisdom of thousands of species, led to a new age of exploration and discovery. The Coalition's fear of rapid advancement gave way to a model of guided innovation, where species helped each other avoid the pitfalls of their new capabilities. Humanity had proven that the response to fear wasn't suppression, but elevation. The answer to the danger of knowledge wasn't to hoard it, but to share it wisely. And the reaction to an act of darkness wasn't to respond with greater darkness, but to create light. In the end, the Coalition's assassin had ended one life, but had unleashed something far more powerful, the combined potential of thousands of species, finally free to reach for the stars together. Maya Zhang's picture still hung in the Galactic Embassy, but now it was surrounded by the faces of countless others, whose innovations were no longer hidden in shadow. The galaxy had learned what the Coalition never understood, that the true measure of a civilization wasn't how carefully it controlled progress, but how wisely it shared it. And humanity, in responding to an act of barbarism with an act of enlightenment, had shown the way forward. The stars, at last, belonged to everyone.